So with that, I was just thinking about gentrification as a whole, because it's easy, you hear the debates and stuff. Like, gentrification is just, it sucks, but it's a natural. What can you do, man? It's just developers are going to make the area better, and that's just the price of making an area better. So we just got to bite the bullet, man, and people will find other places, and which some people don't. They end up just homeless, and um, but enough about that. I'm gonna read a little bit about gentrification from an article I found, a Truthout article, um, Malcolm X, gentrification, housing as a human right, and it's by John Bartlett. I had a friend named John Bartlett. John Bartlett is the executive director of the Metropolitan Tenants Organization, I believe based out of Chicago. Um, and so this article kind of touches on like the historical context, and then what I like about this article is John does a great job of breaking down, taking historical elements and then making it contemporary. So the first part of this article, he touches on in 1823, the U.S. Supreme Court in Johnson versus McIntosh legitimized the concept of ownership through conquest. In Johnson, the court held the savages, the court's term for Native Americans, had no right to sell or control the land because the land was discovered by settlers. Only the U.S. government could give Native people the right to sell or transfer the land. The case is important to understanding gentrification because the court declared that the indigenous population does not have any inherent right to determine the use of their land. In this case, the court ruled that the colonialization of the continent had in fact erased the slate and thus nullified any native people's claim to the land. It made the government the sole arbiter of sale and transfer of land. At the same time, it legitimized the government's use of force to take over the continent and gain control of indigenous people's land. Furthermore, the court's opinion is indicative of the primary role that race plays in community development. The court called indigenous people savages. Intrinsic in this name calling is the idea that Native Americans are the other, that European culture is superior, and that as an inferior community, they could not possibly make good decisions as to how they use their land. This inherently wrong racist decision enshrines the legal and conceptual basis of gentrification, or what I have called ownership through conquest. I like this take because it kind of touches on a lot of the issues with the misinformation with Crenshaw Mall, where it's like these they don't have experience, just a bunch of activists without an understanding of real estate. It's like, no, we have professional real estate agents that are very experienced, got world-renowned developers that are ready to work with the community to build with the community's vision. So it's a lot of that. We know better, and we can come in and make things because of our presence. We're going to make things better, and it never happens that way. But it's what's used to actually go in and start messing things up. And kind of the further, as he takes it from the historical context, and then he makes it contemporary, I share this part. So the contemporary times, the outside investors then developed the land to fit the needs of the downtown elite. They build new and high-cost apartments and high-rises and demolish and get rid of properties suitable for people of more modest means. Many of the first people to move into a changing neighborhood are described as pioneers, the same term used to refer to the initial invaders of North America, who imposed the white man's ways on the native peoples. This means families who have often lived in these neighborhoods for decades are forced to relocate. Tenants, in particular, because of the lack of a secure tenure, face an onslaught of economic pressures to move. Outside investors will often close buildings and evict all the tenants as they develop properties to cater to wealthier non-community members in an effort to get them to move into the community. Tenants are then forced to find and move into an ever shrinking supply of affordable housing. At the same time, landlords are increasing the rent as the neighborhood becomes hot. And then the vast majority of the tenants will be forced out. It is beyond their means to resist their economic forces on their own. And that's usually the reality, right? That these tenants, they put up a fight, and at the end of the day, they end up being moved out because all the legal, all the terminology, all the planning, the building codes, the zonings, it's all set up. It's all rigged. It's all set up to benefit the developers, the rich developers that are coming in. They have all the handshakes, the business deals behind the closed doors, to which the people are never in those rooms. So there's always the uphill battle, and there's a lot of pushback as far as like it should be more. There needs to be more transparency, so average people that are tenants can actually have a right to stand, have a right for stakeholdership. Like David Schwartzman's plan has nothing about creating medium income stakeholdership. There is nothing about stakeholdership whatsoever. So it's not about bringing the community up. It's more of the continual practice of displacement. And once again, that article, you can find that article is from John Bartlett, who is executive director of the Metropolitan Tenants Organization. You can check out the article on truthout.org, and it's titled Malcolm X, Gentrification and Housing as a Human Right. So check that out. And also he has a few kind of, I'll just say do like 3 of them, but I think he had like 10 of what would be better policies that would protect tenants moving forward. Like one of them was laws to limit foreclosures. Banks and other agencies ought to be held accountable for their actions in creating the housing crisis. And that makes you think it was like the housing bubble. Like so many regular people took that housing bubble on the chin, while people like Deutsche Bank, they got levied fines and they never even bothered to pay them. Like they're too big to really be punished. Like that's where our government fails when it comes to checking the institutions that need to be checked, right? Like the big banks and the corporations is like, it should be the government checks the corporations, not the corporations like, hey, this is what we want. You got that? And then the government like, yeah, we got it. It's like, cool. It's like it should be the other way around. Like this is what we need to do to better the people. Kind of like what's going on in China, where they have I don't know. I would look up the eradication of extreme poverty. A lot of that is the government saying, hey, you business sector, this is what needs to happen because we need to make some changes in these streets, and to get the average person out of extreme poverty. And in a global world, this pandemic has only hurt us, moving people out of extreme poverty. Like we're actually going to go upwards now because of this pandemic. So now we got a lot of work to do to get things back under control when we're fighting global poverty. Because people forget around the world, a lot of schools closed down that are never going to open back up around the world. So there's a lot of work to do on that end. and just here, man, it's like all over the nation, Black neighborhoods, like Latino, Brown, Indigenous, like they're all being pretty much bought out, and so there is that. And if you're in a deep red state, like there's some places like Iowa where just even Section 8 protections are being stripped away, where now a landlord can just be like, I don't feel like having this Section 8. I'm going to change it. Then they can just evict you. So a lot of people's rights are being stripped right now around the nation, whereas I didn't have much to begin with. Another one that Bartlett suggests, laws to end lockouts, self-help evictions outside of the legal system. No tenant or homeowner should lose their home without due process. That sounds basic, but a lot of people get forced out. Just like the moratorium didn't actually stop people from being forced out of their homes throughout this whole ordeal. Because a lot of people don't really know their rights. They don't really know how to fight. It's like, leave. Get out of this place. It's like, but isn't it moratorium? What moratorium? All right, I'll leave. Like, it's sad, but that's people. There's a lot of control and force and people in power, especially like people they're just working people and they don't know the basics of their rights. And unfortunately, people will exploit that. And just know that they can still make moves. Even if we see moratorium, it didn't stop people from getting evicted because they know that. And then most people don't have a lawyer. They don't have a legal person in their family, so they're easy to just like, I'm gonna kick you out. I don't care. It's cold game. So something like that, where it's like you have a standard of due process, which we always talk about, but it's always, how does it get enforced? Like so if you have no tenant or homeowner should lose their home without due process, it's always how to enforce it. And lastly, what John Bartlett suggests is mandatory inspection laws. Municipalities and other government agencies need to be responsible for ensuring that all residential properties meet certain codes of health and safety. That's a big one. I wish that needs to be a national. That needs to be some national shit right there. Let's read that. Mandatory inspection laws. Municipalities and other government agencies need to be responsible for ensuring that all residential properties meet certain codes of health and safety. So there was a protest in the news, in Compton a few months ago, where they went to a slumlord's house. It was a tenants' rights group, and they went to the slumlord's house, and they had the tenants talk about their stories. And like this one, I wasn't there. My friend was there, and she was like, this one family, her daughter, she had to braid her daughter's hair so the roaches wouldn't get in her hair, and also they wouldn't have the water running. Like the daughter was a special needs child, so she needed like water, like actual functioning water, and he wouldn't fix it, and he would come up with, well, I can't do it. It's like the whole, I don't know what to do. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that if there was mandatory inspection laws, where people would actually have to go to these properties and just inspect them, like just like anything, just like if you have a restaurant, they come in, they give you the A and the B and the C, and you restaurants know who you are if you had that C letter, that C grade, or was it F? I don't know, but that should be standard, like where you don't have a slumlord where the roaches are so bad, if you don't braid your kid's head, the roaches gonna get caught up in the hairs. Like that's people don't understand in America and some of these cities, man. It is not like we always say first world problems. Like some of these cities we have are versions of third world countries. Like some of these cities have standards like that. So as a nation, there's a long way to go. And I think something like that, where you have mandatory inspections, goes a long way to get things in shape and hold landlords accountable, especially in there's something about the government not checking what's happening right now, like where you have all these corporate landlords buying up properties, these pension funds, these billionaires buying up whole communities. It's like I think there's that tendency to wait until it comes to a head and then be like, oh no, we didn't see this coming, like the housing bubble. It's like people who studied that and it was like, yo, this is not going to be good. So same thing with this. It's like you're creating a whole nation of permanent renters, and you have this artificial market driven up by pension funds, by billionaires. They're buying up whole cities, or whole communities. And there's no pushback from the government. Like we should probably not do this. And it's once again, it's like that. There's something about that's not healthy. And you would hope that's where you need government to step in and be like, yo, this is fucked up. The average person, just like how it's supposed to American dream, the average person should have power to purchase a house if they've done their due diligence and they have their things set up, instead of going to a market that's artificially driven up. So you hope that the government does something and steps in on that before it becomes like the situation we had in the Great Recession, and the predatory lending that happened during that time. So all that to say, as part of downtown Crenshaw, we will continue to fight and work for what is right, and do our part to what we believe in, and the people that we know that don't have the means or the resources to stand against these gubernaires, and our government that just kind of stands and well, I can't do nothing. I can't, because it's been set up like that from the get-go, where the gentrifiers or the developers have all the levers, they have all the upper hands. So it's a perpetual state of David and Goliath. So as the people power, we keep doing our thing, and keep pushing, keep working. So with that, we also have the gift of joy and jokes. So I'm gonna see people this week and know I got some jokes coming. So everybody be well. This is an episode of Magic Collins podcast, episode 63 and counting. So check out the other episodes. Also check this out on YouTube. Click like, comment, join discussion. What you think about this gentrification and how to combat it. I know there's other groups that have fought these faults really well, and they continue to fight them. So I'm always interested in how other people are working against these challenges of people with unlimited resources, and they don't see people. It's more of the just pure numbers. Like if you look up an interview with David Schwartzman, he only talks about the numbers. Like he don't actually see the people that he's affecting. Like he talked about Usual Suspects, where he's like, one of his favorite lines was like, I'm in this for the hit. So it's like this dude is in it for the game of it, of the game of real estate. It's fun, it's exciting. So he doesn't even see how he affects people, and that's where our society is so off balance, where the people that hold all the cards don't actually see people as people, and they're making choices that feed the homeless crisis. It feeds climate change. It feeds our medical, the broken financial system, where our medical system drives people in debt. Like all these decisions are made that's never checked by the government, and people that are supposed to be there for checks and balances. They kind of are. They are the people that are being bought off, and the lobbyists like, hey man, don't shh, shh. So we have to keep fighting. We have to keep voting. Like, if we don't vote, if we don't fight for like the John Lewis bill, we pay for that. We don't vote for the vote in this California recall, September 14th deadline. We pay for that. So just make sure you fighting for your loved one, your family, your future. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. All right. It's been my time. Maagic Collins, check me out. Anchor, YouTube, anywhere where podcasts are played. Just worldwide. All right. Deuces.